Hi, my name's Helen. This is my channel, Helen Mary Jo. If you're new here, then welcome. If you're returning, thank you. And if you're a Hellspell, hello. I had to do it in my left hand today because, as you can see, I am having a very well-earned cup of tea. So I just thought I'd come on today just to have a chat, really. I have got some clothes I could be trying on for you, but I simply don't have the energy. I was out all day yesterday with Katie, and we had a lovely day out, actually. It's for my birthday. She said, you know, there's nothing you really want, so I will take the day off work and we'll go out and do whatever you want to do for the day. And that's a rare thing. Katie is so busy, you know, she works part-time, and this is what used to happen to me. I used to take children to school, go straight to work all day, and then pick the children up from school. And what that means is you actually never have any time to yourself until the children have gone to bed, and then there's that bits of, you know, house admin, clearing up, whatever that you need to do, getting the kids sorted for the next day. And it is really hard work. You know, it is. I mean, she's not complaining at all, but what I mean is it was very precious to have that day with her. And equally, I'm very, very lucky because Grace did a similar thing for me now, one of them was birthday and one of them was Mother's Day. I'm not sure which, but I think most of us can agree that actually spending time alone with your children is very, very precious when they're adults. You know, you very rarely get that time where they're not with their other half or distracted or with other people. So it really is the best kind of gift, if I'm honest. Grace is taking me away somewhere and I've got no idea where we're going. I mean, I will have to have a bit of a clue so I know what to pack. But, you know, they're both equally lovely and precious times. So we dropped the children at school yesterday and then we headed straight up the M3 to London. And I must confess, I was so excited when I saw that the Designers Guild, if you're not familiar, Designers Guild is like an interior design company, and I love their style. The rug I've got in the hall is Designers Guild. The rug I've got in the front room is Designers Guild. They're very high end, very high quality. But when I lived in London, or nearer to London, I was in a suburb, I used to go to their warehouse sale at every opportunity, which is in northwest London, which funnily enough is where I worked for many, many years, because the Guinness brewery was there, and that's where I was working in the public relations department until I stopped work to have Katie. So I know the area quite well. Well, at least I thought I did. I'm digressing as usual. This is literally just a chat. So if it's not for you, I understand that, you know, it's just me talking. And we turned off. Well, first of all, the turning that we had to turn off the A40, I didn't even know was there. And I was like, what's the sat nav saying to go down there for? So there's a whole new turning. And then the building that has gone on around where I worked, Rob and I worked there, both worked at Guinness for many years, and it has changed beyond recognition. I mean, I literally, without the sat nav, I would not have known where I was. It's incredible. So anyway, we headed into the Designers Guild car park, and we could see all these ladies with bags full of things already. And I said, I don't need anything. So famous last words, I don't need anything. I don't need anything, but you know, it's lovely to have a look and see what they've got. And Kate said, no, I don't need anything either. Wet my whistle. And we went in, and we were looking at they had all the fabrics. They were for sale by the roll. So they said how much was on the roll, and then they said what the price was. And I mean, these fabrics are just gorgeous. And I honestly, of course, I remembered a bit of fabric that I would have needed, but anyway, I can live without it. We started looking at the fabrics, and then Katie said, "Oh, actually, I do need a blind for my bedroom to be made." So we got some beautiful velvet, which I can only describe as azure blue. You know, the colour of the sea and the sky when you're usually in the Med, or you know, the Greek islands or somewhere. That beautiful blue, same colour as that tray that my sister gave me actually, and a lovely quality velvet. And because it had no pattern on it, she can have the fabric kind of sideways, and then she won't need any joins in it. So I think that was £40. It worked out about £4 a metre. Well, that was probably at least £40 or £50 a metre originally. So we got that. And then we kind of did a quick whip around, and there was a few items of furniture and this chair. So I saw this chair. Well, actually, I saw the same design chair in a different fabric. And I said to Katie, "Oh, that would be perfect. I've been looking for a chair to put in this spot here," which is, as you can see, just in front of the bifolds, for a while. And it needed to be kind of quite a small chair, not a big, deep recliner, kind of an occasional chair, I guess you'd call it. And this just fitted the bill. And in actual fact, there was two. One was in like a silver velour kind of velvet fabric, and the other one was this one, which is kind of almost like a tweed kind of boucle fabric in the ivory, sort of silver ivory colour. And this was reduced, you're not going to believe this, because obviously I would never be able to pay those prices, but this was reduced from £2,250 to £150. So I was so chuffed with this. I will show you a picture of it in its glory without me sitting in it. And so we used to have a round table here, and I've taken that away. I don't know if we've got a use for that table, but we've had it for many years, and it was second hand when we bought it. It wasn't a lot of money. And I can work here, and I can feel like I've got I'm kind of in the garden, but without the glare, because, you know, with the laptop, you can't see anything, can you, when it's sunny? So, and then the other thing I picked up when we went to the till was this beautiful cushion. Look at that. It's the embroidery on the birds there. Can you see? Just love it. And that was reduced. Let's see, it's got all embroidery around the edge of the flowers too. And that was, I haven't taken the price tag off yet. That was reduced from £120 to £35, which is still, I mean, I think £35 is quite a lot of money for a cushion. I usually make my own cushions, but such a beautiful cover, and it just ties in the blue sofa and the aquamarine sofa just beautifully. I'm chuffed to pieces with it, honestly, I am. So oh yeah, so Katie got that blue, and then she got a lovely kind of heavy cut velvet to cover. She's got a small sofa and chair that I actually had for many years. It's Edwardian, tiny sofa and chair, and she needs that covered, so we bought some fabric to get that covered. I would really be sad to see that sofa and chair go, but obviously I haven't got room for it, and I can't really insist that she keeps something if she hasn't got room for it. But I would be very happy to see it covered, so that was that. So then we drove up the A40. I must say, at this point, we saw some of the worst driving on the motorway yesterday that I've ever seen in my life. It's absolutely terrifying. I just, you know, the way people risk manoeuvres, that if they just clipped their car at 70 miles an hour, I don't think they realise how catastrophic that would be. So there was one particular driver in a Mini that recklessly pulled out, went between a space between two cars. It was barely bigger than the car he was driving, round the outside and back in again. And Katie and I both shrieked because we absolutely thought there was going to be an accident. It was awful. Anyway, that's by the by. And the aggression, oh my good Lord, you know, when you're trying to find your way and you don't know which lane to be in well, we were in Hammersmith by that point, and the aggression of people, it's actually horrible. But anyway, it is what it is. So then we went to see our friends, well, you know, they're my friends from school, and obviously Katie's known them all her life, Munir and Corinne, Corinne I went to school with, and Munir is her husband, and it's his jewellery. And he very kindly gave me some new pieces, because he noticed, they watch all my videos, which I find just kind of bewildering, but lovely too. And he said, I've noticed you've been layering up your necklaces, and here's a couple with, you know, with more of a different length, because rather than just the chain. So I've got this in gold and silver, which I'm loving. And I got these new earrings, which are kind of cute because they're pearls, but they're not a traditional pearl. And I've got these in the large and the small. I know, I'm so lucky. He re-dipped my gold bangles for me, so I've got those all shining away nicely. And then we went out for lunch with them and had a really lovely lunch. And what came out of that lunch is quite a remarkable thing, actually. Well, not out of the lunch, but out of the conversation we had. Munir, who is quite a shy chap, actually, and he said, do you think your ladies would like it if I did a little video explaining about all the different kind of pearls and their background, etc.? There's the phone. So I've lost my train of thought now, but I think what I was saying is that Munir wondered if you ladies would be interested in him going into a bit more detail about the pearls and where they come from and their, you know, the different types and shapes and colours and things. And I personally would be very interested in that. So we're planning to get together probably in September now and have a recorded conversation about that, which I think would be really lovely. And you know what? I won't ask you for the questions now because I would have forgotten them. But before I go up, I will ask you if you've got any questions for him that I can put to him on your behalf. And I think that would be very interesting too. So, yeah, so we had lunch then with Corinne and Munir, which was very pleasant. We went to a Lebanese restaurant just near to their shop. It's not a shop as in a retail shop. It's like where wholesalers and people go to, and their workshop is there, and because everything's made on site there. So we had lunch with them, and then oh God, we were so lucky. I mean, a usual digression. Katie went back to the car. We managed to park. I mean, this tells you something, doesn't it? The parking was charged in 2-minute increments. 2-minute increments. It was like, how long do you want to stay? 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes? Like, what? So I don't know how much it cost, but it was about, I don't know, £10 or something. Ridiculous. Anyway, it was very handy. It was just close to where they have their shop. So we got back in the car, and then we went to Westfield at Shepherd's Bush, Westfield, London, which again, we found Westfield, but trying to find the way into the car park was another story altogether. But we managed to do that. And we went into Westfield, didn't really go there for very much, but Katie got, because, you know, we're going to this Country and Western Festival and a party, and the children are going to both of those as well. So I said, it would be nice to get Hattie something for that. So she picked her up it's like a t-shirt with fringing on it, and it was kind of cowboy themed or something. I can't really remember, but it was a few quid. And so Hattie's got that. She's at that phase now where she doesn't want to wear any dresses, any skirts. She doesn't want anything tight, and long may it last, really, you know, because when they get to the, I mean, I have to say, Katie and Grace never ever did that. They never pushed me or pushed the barrier of what they could or should wear. And as my mother always said, I don't mind what you wear as long as it's decent. And I pretty much had the same feelings. So we got a few bits in there, and then we went from there to see Rob's older brother, who still lives in the family home actually, and he's got an awful lot of health issues. You know, the whole health thing is just so unfair, isn't it? It's so much a matter of luck really, because, you know, he was a fine, strong young man, bricklayer, really, you know, incredibly strong actually when he was a young man, and now he's riddled with arthritis. He's got, I mean, he's got so many things wrong with him, skin condition, stomach condition, you name it, he's got it, and, you know, it's really, really rotten. So he still lives in the family home. He's never married. It's his home. He bought it off his parents. And so we popped in to see him and Rob's the younger sister. He's only got two sisters. She came as well because she doesn't live far away. So it was really, really nice to see them. We haven't seen them for a while. And we had a cup of tea with them. And sorry, there's something sticking out of this chair, little. That's what it was. How could that little tiny feather be prickly? But it was. So we had an hour and a half or so with them, had a good old chat and a catch up, and then we headed home. And once we got outside of the kind of London traffic, we didn't have any trouble getting home at all. It took just under 2 hours, I think. But I was exhausted because I'd been awake from 4:30 yesterday morning. So when it came to today, I just thought, you know what, it's a lovely, beautiful, warm day, and I just don't feel well enough actually. That's the truth. I need to pace myself sometimes, and today's one of those days, which is why you've got this chatty video, which I'm sure, you know, a lot of people will just be like, I can live without that, but equally a lot of you lovely ladies might like it. I wanted to show you this now. Honestly, talk about little things pleasing little minds, but I got two of these brushes. Well, you know how much I love my crevice brushes. This new, look at this little shaped brush. I've got one in the car, and I've got one kind of in my stash of useful brushes. Well, this is so good. The reason I actually bought one is because the vents in the car I couldn't get into to kind of clean properly, and equally where the hob is set into the worktop, there's just the tiniest little gap round, and so this just brushes those out because it's so soft. The crevice brush is great for little narrow crevices, but it's not very soft, so it tends to push things in that situation. So I don't want to scrub it, I just want to flick them out. So I'll put the link in the description box down below, but I mean, I think they were like £2 each or something, 2 for 3 something, but it's such a handy little brush. I wished I'd had one years ago. So yeah, so that was our day, which was just yesterday. And then other than that, this week I went to see Sheila, the lady I told you about who'd fallen down the stairs. When was that? Before Christmas? Yeah, before Christmas. She fell down the stairs and broke her leg in 3 places, and it really has been plaguing her, because now she's got an infection under her kneecap which they can't eradicate, and so she is likely to be on antibiotics now for the rest of her life, which is pretty miserable actually. So I went to see her the other day, had a lovely chat with her. She's had such an interesting life, honestly. It makes me feel like I've had like half a life compared to her, because her husband was in the army, and you know they've lived all over Nairobi and all sorts of places. I couldn't even tell you. Every time I mention something, I'm like, really? So, the other thing we've been doing this week, I think I mentioned about Billy and his fundraising for his, have I mentioned it already? I might have mentioned it in a video that hasn't gone out yet. I can't remember, so you'll have to forgive me. But we're at Garden Fete tomorrow selling tickets for the draw, the grand draw, which has got some brilliant prizes thanks to my lovely collaborators. So I've got a vacuum cleaner, a twin fryer, 2 Suri toothbrushes, some jewellery from Munir, some champagne, so many prizes, given that it's just for a 13-year-old boy's raffle, you know, I mean, he's very lucky, I'll say that for him. So we're going to the local Garden Fete tomorrow. We've got a stall there, and we've made a couple of games to be played, including cornhole, which I'm sure you're familiar with. So Rob's done a lovely job on that. I'll try and take a little bit of footage tomorrow when we're all set up, so that you can see what we've done. And yeah, I think that's it really. Mum's doing remarkably well as ever, really remarkably well. She rang me today because she couldn't find her cake tins. She thought I'd got rid of them, which I haven't. And she said, I just feel like making a cake today. I can tell you, I never thought she'd make a cake again, really, truthfully. But now it's like she never broke her arm. She's managing so well. It's inspirational, really, to hear her talk and see how well she's doing. And don't laugh, I've actually got a collaboration coming for a mobility scooter for her. I mean, obviously I don't need a mobility scooter, not yet anyway, but and she was a little bit reluctant, and I said, Mum, if we go into West Quay or Hedge End, then, you know, we've got something that you can easily get around on. So she acquiesced, I think is the word. And what else? Anything else? No, nothing really, nothing mind-blowingly interesting. Oh, good Lord, I knew I'd forgotten something. Did I tell you that Rob got a pair of doves? I can't remember. So, you know, we've got the dovecot outside. You'd have seen, well, you can see it here, look behind me. And Grace bought him a pair of doves, and they have been caged up. You can see the cage up there. They've been caged for 3 weeks, in which time that should mean that they know that is home, and they mate for life. So with a bit of luck, they are now a mated pair, and they should always come back to this dovecot. And what I will do now, I took some footage of them flying out this morning, and I never ever thought I would be excited and actually quite moved to see these beautiful white doves flying into the bright blue sky. And well, you'll see for yourselves. Hopefully I can get a good enough picture. The video is good enough for you to see, because I had to sit with it for ages waiting for them to leave. But they kind of were sticking their head out of the hole, and then it was like he went back and said to his wife, what do you reckon, should we go for it? And then they had a little bit of beak action, and then he flew out and she flew out right next to him, and the pair of them flew into the bright blue sky. And we are just hoping that they come back. So if they come back while I'm getting this video ready, I'll let you know. Otherwise, you'll have to wait for the next instalment. So I hope you enjoy that bit of footage, because if it's good enough, I think you'll actually find it quite beautiful. Sounds daft, but there you are. Nature's a wonderful thing, isn't it? So that's me, my little cuppa and to catch up video. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you really soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.